from Cloud 9.
Have you enjoyed the social media feedback and your little conversation with the umpire?
Yeah, a little bit. In my head, I'm just saying, I was around the bases and he was saying good job. That's how I'm going to think about it. I thought it was a little uncalled for, but at the end of the day, he has no idea like what I've been through personally and stuff. So I understand where he's coming from a little bit. But I just set that aside and just enjoyed my moment as it was.
Mac, where does that hit stack up? Just the moment of everything. I know the past week was tough on you. To do this in your final at bat here, where does that stack up with the FSU hit and Vandy hit last year?
Right. Yeah, those were great last year, but I think that was by far my favorite one. In front of my own crowd. My last at bat ever here on this field, 3-2 count. Like I said, I had a rough week, but like I said, I kept putting God first, and he lived through me, and I was playing for him, and it definitely showed out.
We saw what Jake did in his last at bat at Dudio. When you got up to the plate, maybe when you were walking up, did you maybe think like, hey, maybe something might happen here?
Right.
Something special?
I said when he got that hit, I was like, that's the most Jake hit I've ever seen. So then I kept telling myself, why don't I do the most Elijah thing? And I was going up there, and I didn't even care what happened. I was just like, enjoy this moment, soak it all in. That's probably why I did hit a home run, because I probably wasn't stressing so hard. I was just enjoying it. I felt free. I was taking great swings. I wasn't going down. I wasn't taking a walk for my last at bat, I'll tell you that. So I was going down swinging.
How do you feel out there in the outfield now?
I feel great. The outfield parts, it's like riding a bike. I got out there, and a week later I was feeling great. But being out there and enjoying it for the last few times was definitely awesome. And it's just, like I said, riding a bike. So when I was out there, I felt like I was ready to roll.
Is there any pain at all?
Not at all, nothing.
Last year after the loss to Oregon State, you said that this team was to be back at the College World Series. Just why were you so confident that you would be able to make it back?
Obviously, I'm an emotional kid when it comes to baseball, so that was definitely part of it. But I know what this team's capable of doing, and I know how hard we work, and I knew what we were having coming into the next year, as in this year. And I knew that the group of guys I play with, how hard they work, I knew that they weren't going to let that be the last time we make it there. So we got back to work this year, and we're ready to go back to Omaha.
How much of an advantage is it?
Postseason that brings out the best in you?
The postseason, I know that it's a team sport, so when it comes to that, my mentality is I'm going to do anything to help this team win. It's like that at all times, but postseason, I don't care how we get runs as long as at the end of the game it says we have the W.
How much of an advantage is it for y'all now, especially outfielders, to have played on that field because it's such a large park
Right.
and the angles the ball comes off, the backdrop?
It's definitely, having the experience is going to help. You don't know how the wind's going to blow one night. You can't hear half the time. It's like you need a megaphone just to call the ball off, I feel like. But, having that advantage is definitely going to help us because we know how it's going to be played, and, we got the same outfield, so we're just going to take it one game at a time.
You remember any tough plays last year?
Oh, yeah. I remember the North Carolina, I looked like a kid, hit a pop-up to the infield. Hunter Stovall was calling it, so I'm kind of running in, and I look up, and the ball's 30 feet behind my head. But, no, other than that, it's just, you got to stay focused on the hitter because you can't really hear much, but when it's in there, you got to be loud.
What do you remember about that series from Auburn back in March?
That was one of the most offensive series I've ever seen. I remember after the first game, it was a salty taste in our mouth losing that close game. But then, we had that, I felt like there was not even pitching out there, just a pitching machine. We're just hitting all day. So I know that they're going to come out swinging, we're going to come out swinging. Just one pitch at a time, ready to roll.
Promises not only to get back, but to win the national championship.
Right. Well, that should be everyone's mentality, and that's our mentality going there, and it's to take care of business, and that's what we're going to do.
You mentioned the wind. Is that the first thing y'all outfielders check when you get on the park that day?
Pick up the grass, the typical lick the finger in the air. To see which way the wind's going is definitely a big factor, so if you need to play up or play back, or depending if the wind's in or out.
What do you remember about Cole was kind of on the fence about coming back or not? It seemed like was that a recruiting pitch from you guys to get him back on this team? What do you remember about Cole and him coming back, and how big's he been to get you guys right back here where you are?
He's definitely one of the biggest factors of this team. Having him come in and close is a great feeling for all of us. We were all telling him, hey, come back, come back, come back. And I could tell he wanted to, but I think it was all about the if he could get into the program. you know, when he said yes, he was coming back, it was definitely a good feeling for all us. We're all happy because he's one of the best teammates we've ever had, I've ever had personally, and, you know, we all love Cole.
That final out, you and Jake had a moment or two before you jumped in the dog pile there. Take us through that.
It's funny you say that because when we won and I looked at him, it was like pure joy. I completely forgot you dogpile to go to Omaha. So I'm sitting there hugging him, and then, you know, Ratty says, you know, we jump in the air. And I look in the infield and they're all dogpiling. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go dogpile. But I just remember that moment of looking at him and we was like, hey, we're going back. We did it. We worked so hard this whole year. I remember him whispering in my ear, like, let's go finish this thing. And, you know, it was having him be by my side every year, my counterpart. It's very easy to play with him and, you know, be by his side. So it was definitely a pure moment of joy.
Since the draft ended last week, have you heard from any clubs?
No, I know I will. Coach Cocho says I'll be taken care of, so, you know, I'm just going to enjoy the game right now. And if it happens to be in Omaha as my last game, then that's what God's got me destined for. But, you know, I'm just going to keep God first and let him take control.
Just emotionally, Elijah, last year, the roller coaster of you guys making it to Omaha, what maybe is the different, is there any kind of different feeling this week leading up to it, or is it still the same excitement of making it there, even though you guys have unfinished business?
That's a really good question, actually. I remember last year, obviously we're going to win, and we wanted to win. We did really well, but it was definitely a different feeling because of the roller coaster we had. But this year is more like, hey, we're going to Omaha, but we're not just going to Omaha. Like, we're going to win. Like, we're going there. We got a job to do, a job to finish.